He Rules the World, and that this is something that's coming out that can be fantastic for families or for anyone to go see. Talk to me a little bit about what it means for you to be part of this new production.
Well, it's truly an honor. You know, I've done so many shows, different shows that really weren't Christian-based at all. I wouldn't call the Phantom of the Opera Christian-based. But when I got the opportunity, I was asked by Peter and Jen if I wanted to join the team, and I said, absolutely. I've been waiting for something like this, because what the world needs now is an absolute family show that actually mentions the name of Christ in a Christmas show. And we don't have that. There's just not, and it's family enough to where it's pop, the kids will like the music, the parents will like the music and the story. And once I saw and heard the music, I was like, I am so in. I am so in.
Well, and you have such an amazing background. I mean, Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorites, and I feel like a lot of introductions, so to speak, to Broadway and so forth is through that show. Talk to me about, the vocal chops that it takes to do that, and then being able to use your gift in another arena.
Exactly. Phantom is an interesting show. It's, people think as soon as you say Phantom of the Opera, you're an opera singer, which I did train in opera at Texas Tech University, and but I was never going to do opera. It was always going to be musical theater. But you have to, it's a discipline that is, you have to treat it as though you're almost an Olympic athlete. The discipline to keep your voice, because you only get one set of vocal cords. You don't get a trade-in like a used car. So you have to make sure that it lasts. And with that training, to be able to do other shows, different styles, that really help, because once you train to the top of opera, the hardest style, it's easier to come back down. It's hard to train to jazz and then go up and sing an aria. So I've been very fortunate. I had a wonderful voice teacher at Texas Tech, and I've worked real hard at trying to keep my voice in shape. And to keep it in shape, to keep it going, that's what keeps when you have repetitive shows. Like Phantom, you do 8 shows a week. And to be able to do this is right back in that realm of it when you do repetitive shows. And the muscle memory just comes right back. It just comes right back. So
I love that He Rules the World is positioned at Christmas time, and that it seems like there's something intangible about that time of year always that creates a little bit more joy and kindness within others. But talk to me about getting to bring this show at Christmas time with that message, when maybe you can speculate and say people are more willing to receive it.
And the thing is that as soon as I heard it was based on Christ and based on Christmas, of what Christmas actually is, right, as opposed to gifts and lights and everything else like that, it immerses you in what actually happened, the pain, the struggle, the different views of different people involved with the birth of Christ, the innkeeper, the angels, the shepherds, Mary, Joseph. And to be able to spread that, especially in the time that we're living now, it's difficult to try to tell people about Christ because there's no gray area there. Either they don't like you at all or they're all in, right? And as time has progressed, to be able to lay this in front of them with beautiful music and fun music and a good story, you just hope one person in the audience sees it and says, now I know. I'm going to believe. And that's the goal of the whole cast, is to say, if one person has never seen this and they get to see it and they come to Christ, that's really all that matters.
I love live theater. I think there's something so different when you're in the way that you're able to connect with an audience when you're sitting there. And I can only imagine what that is like as talent, as the performer. Talk to me about how those kind of work together for you.
Live theater is great. I run a voice studio now as well as doing live performances. But the energy that when you give off the energy and they send the energy back from the audience, there's no high like that ever in the world. And especially when you're sending off the energy of a wonderful story, the best story ever told, right? The best story that's ever been. And to see their faces, See, I'm one of those actors, I like to see the people's reaction because I react off of that. But to see their reactions and to see of all the lights of the whole thing, and then to be able to tell them the story. That's the goal, is to tell them the story, not just have them enjoy the music, but to have them really know the meaning of the words. And to have that, it's an adrenaline rush every time. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to share what God gave me and give Him the glory, and people enjoy it.
Well, and maybe on a final note, family is so important, and it's something that is that we try to carry things that we can always all do together. You said you're a father, maybe just speak to the show being able to be something that families can all do together at any age.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a college graduate, and I have a college going to be a sophomore. And those kids loved it. A couple years ago when we first performed this, I took my kids and they loved it. They're like, we never heard that type of music using old hymns. Mm-hmm. And they thought, oh gosh, it's going to be old hymns. Well, they are old hymns, but it totally reimagined old hymns. They were in shock that their father was actually singing rock music, And to be able to take a family to that, to be able to take them together, right? And see what you've been trying to tell them their whole life. Mm-hmm. It's like, being a dad, the kids won't believe me necessarily, but if their coach said something or a friend said something, the exact same thing, they believe it, right?
Yes.
And it's great to see their reactions. Like my wife said, when they were standing, they were just sitting there going, this is unbelievable, Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. Because we're missing family. Mm-hmm. We're missing traditional family values. And hopefully these types of things will turn it around.